Welcome back, everyone. It's Tuesday, March 7th, and today I've noticed that a lot of people are jumping on Dick's Sporting Goods, up 6% or so on doubling or their same store sales from 2.1% to 5%. But I think the important thing to remember is just that a lot of people are jumping on Dick's. And yeah, if that's you, I'd love to hear about your Dick's play and what you make of that. In economic data, we've got Fed Chair Powell speaking today and tomorrow at 10 a.m. Balance of trade tomorrow, and for the three of you who care, Canada, the Bank of Canada, is going to share its interest rate decisions tomorrow as well. So keep all that. Keep on the lookout for all of that. And let's hear some plays. Welcome back, everyone.
I mean, come on, opinion. I think there's at least a solid 5 that might care.
I appreciate it. Whoever those two unknown people are who care about the Bank of Canada interest rate decision.
Yeah, let's throw out the Doge for the Bank of Canada. At the end of the day, they do. I don't really know what they do or why we really care about that, but nonetheless, yeah, let's go Canada. I'm not sure it affects the dollar that much, but hey, I digress.
Probably a lot more people interested in Dick's here.
Opinion. I will gift you 2 loonies and 2 toonies so you can go buy some food at the Swiss Chalet and Tim Hortons.
Oh, well, thank you, bud.
Yep. You should also get some poutine while you're at it, too. So.
I didn't know there was anything other than poutine.
Yep.
Breakfast of champions.
So what you guys playing today? Has crypto collapsed? Is Silvergate still a thing? Is the contagion...
Oh, people still play crypto? I didn't know they were still buying that stuff. But I'm definitely going to be playing some Walgreens. If you guys haven't heard, Mass Gamer came with some great news for that, so I'll let him share about that. But I'll be buying calls on that for sure.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. I'll go ahead and share. Excuse me. I didn't even take a dab yet. Anyway, I'll go ahead and share said news about Walgreens. After a brief on Tardstrology, we got some bullish signals in the star stream today. It was almost completely straight up, and we also have a moon just beyond the horizon. So, as for the Tardstrology play of the day, I was looking into $37 calls on Walgreens. Dated for 3/17. So this news is based off of the thesis that happened, like the news that came out recently. Freaking Gavin Newsom wants to ban Walgreens from California because they refuse to sell the birth control pill. And we all know in this day and age, in the past 2 years, that bad news is good
it's not a
news and
birth
good news is bad
control.
news. So
It's
I
not a
am
birth
buying
control
calls.
pill. It's not a birth control pill. It's the abortion pill.
Well, yeah, the abortion pill, whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. It's birth control. Regardless, it is birth control. It is controlling whether or not you give birth. So technically, it is birth control, bro. So, yeah, calls on Walgreens.
Funny you should mention that because I just sold 37 5 calls on Walgreens yesterday.
Ooh, nice.
But I was already in it, I think, 36. So like I figured I would just pick them up, collect the dividend, and sell calls until they sell at a profit finally.
Are we thinking Dix is going to continue up? It's currently trading 139.70 on the bid and 140 on the ask.
As Hardy would say,
what's-
dicks go up, dicks go down.
If you think you're going to get a serious answer out of anyone here,
What's that letter day? What? No,
I was
think
just gonna
Latter Day
ask
thinks-
what's got Dick so excited right now.
I don't. That's a good one.
Well, I mean, it's obvious, right? The Playboy Mansion got sold recently, so that's why Dix is up.
look, as almost anyone in this channel can tell you, Dix is always up in the morning.
Yeah, I guess for some. Depends on the pre-market for sure, but once the market hits, some of you guys. Anyway, I wanted to just make a quick announcement. We have a Discord, that's correct. The Wall Street Bets has a Discord. Opinion has done you the favor and added it to the comment section of this chat. It's pinned, and you can go ahead and click that link and join the Discord. We have some great casinos, some great talks, some analysts that think they're analysts, as well as some great memes and other things like movie nights, and list goes on and on. But check it out when you get some time. Go ahead and click that link in the comment section. All right, you guys are quiet as the lambs. So let's see. Is there any good plays? You guys got nothing? You guys aren't doing anything on Wall Street today? It's Tuesday.
I got a follow-up on Troika. I know yesterday I mentioned it. Everyone was like, so your thesis is 100% based on a bot, and that's it? And I was like, yep, that's it. It's just a momentum play on a bunch of retard retail investors. And if you're in that play, it's up 46% today. You'd be up 46% if you went in yesterday. I've sold part of mine, and I'm letting the rest ride for free. The other play I was going to talk about, the iRobot, ticker is IRBT. There's a $61 buyout out from Amazon. It's currently being blocked by the European Union. It's now trading at $42.88, or at least that was the price the last time I looked at it. I'm currently driving, so I'm not able to look at it right now. The idea is buy the shares. If the sale goes through, bam, you just made a bunch of money. So that's my other play right now.
What was that ticker again?
iRobot, IRBT, and the other one was Troika, TRKA. By the way, that is a micro cap. It is a momentum play. It is being pumped on stock pumping forums. Super dangerous, very dangerous play. The iRobot play is also dangerous because the European Union might permanently block the acquisition of Amazon of iRobot, in which case it would probably dip back down to below $36.
Do we know why the European Union is threatening to block it?
Because Amazon wants iRobot because it gives them maps of everybody's houses. That's why Amazon wants it, which is a pretty effed up reason, but whatever, man.
So it looks like right now they're trading at about $43 a share right now in pre-market.
Yeah, that is a really big spread. But what's interesting is that when it was actually announced, the spread was like significantly lower, something like 5-6%. So I'm quite surprised that the spread has widened. I wonder if that's just on the back of seeing so much other antitrust regulatory action. Like I don't know if you guys saw, but Figma, which is also kind of being investigated, or their acquisition by Adobe of them is being looked at very carefully. So it's interesting. So I don't know if that's part of it, or is it just the fact that maybe Amazon's going to come back to the table and negotiate hard for a reduction in price, given the fact that they're losing money and it's a recession, and no one wants to spend a dollar they don't have. I'm not sure what the right answer is, but yeah, just very interesting that their spread has widened so much, and curious to see what that means for everyone else. I believe ATVI is still trading at a massive spread as well. Yeah. That being said, I took a look at Dole, which reported earnings this morning, and even though earnings weren't, anything particularly notable, I know they're a fan favorite here. And for those of you who remember, we did like a Dole banana dress up day, which was awesome. But if you look at it, over the past 6 months, the thing has just straight, it has just been up and to the right, like a straight line, up 65% in the past 6 months. Absolutely insane. Curious to when Scald probably gets out of the cornfield he's in to hear what drove that, or anyone else here who's invested in Dole.
Yeah, I see some bananas in the audience. Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
Yeah, Scald got that one, brought it to my attention anyway, a few months ago when it's trading around 850 to 8. It did see as low as about 730 a share, but it was trading under its book value. And they had boats and stuff, which is pretty cool. So they were vertically integrated. They owned the seed vaults all the way to the total produce grocery stores. So it seemed like it was bound to turn around. And my cost average is under 750 a share. I think there's some people that are in even lower than that. And they have not much of a dividend, but some dividend, which is kind of cool.
Sounds like you guys found an undervalued stock.
What actually initially alerted me to Dole is I was actually going through WallStreetBets, and I actually found a DD that was pretty highly rewarded, but it was in 2021, and this person had this crazy thesis on Dole, and I was like, well, this guy is right about the technicals, but wrong about the price and timing. And from there, I used that guy's thesis to build a 2022 thesis into 2023. And so there's actually a WallStreetBets post about Dole. The person, it was at $14 a share. The guy thought it was going to go to 26, which obviously that was highly overpriced for an agricultural stock. But, looking at all that data, when it was down at $8, I thought it would go to 10, and I'm happy that it's gone to 12.
Kind of on the same leg as Dole, notice that Campbell's Soup, which appears to be another recession play, it's been outpacing the S&P for the past year, 25% to negative 2%, and that one's reporting earnings, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah, another group that's held up pretty well are the cereal companies, Post, Kellogg's, and General Mills. They've just been gangbusters during the recession. I guess people just keep eating cereal.
I'm kind of the mind that these boomer plays are going to be the next meme stocks. That would be nice if that happens.
Aren't a lot of the cereal companies going to see a boost because a lot of their wheat competitors got taken out by the Ukraine war? Because in the U.S., it's either rice or corn for cereal. for at least what we produce. So a lot of their competition's probably taking a tire iron across the shin.
Well, they're also just consumer defensive in general, and generally consumer defensive does well in recessionary environments.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind, I brought this up on a few talks ago, is that since eggs are completely overpriced at this point, people are looking at things like Nutri-Grain bars for breakfast.
Any particular flavor?
Strawberry, that seems to be the most popular. I'd go all in on those. We're not allowed to talk about... Oh, sorry.
Okay, I'll just do some quick housekeeping news and then all yours. Just wanted to shout out Mike Conch for subbing on Twitch. Didn't know that was a thing you could do, but very much appreciate it. And we'll have to figure out what that means. But level 3 sub, very nice. Thank you, Mike. And then also, I don't know if you guys saw the post on Mark Mobius complaining about he's a billionaire investor not able to get money out of China. Well, I pinned a comment saying like, hey, would you like to see an AMA from this guy? People said yes, and so did Mark Mobius. So probably this week or next, we'll have a text AMA and hopefully a voice AMA with the guy, and bring your A game, bring your questions. I'll post some information either here and on the Discord, so you guys can come prepared. But that should be a little bit of fun and hopefully kick off some of our AMA series with more interesting speakers. So yeah, thanks everyone.
Pretty badass. Thank you for doing that.
Impressive opinion. Good job, man.
Yeah, let's throw up the Doge for opinion on that. Definitely gonna love those AMAs coming in. Let's throw up that Doge. Thanks, opinion. We appreciate that.
I'll even shower that day.
Thank you.
I don't know if we've come to the... Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to give it back to whoever I so rudely interrupted.
I believe that was me. Just kidding. I don't know who we rudely interrupted here. I do apologize. So whoever wants to take the mic real quick.
I was just going to ask if we're allowed to mention market caps of 125 million.
Sure, go for it.
So there's this stock ticker REE. People keep mentioning on the Discord. It's down 97% all time, but just from some of the fundamentals, it started as a meme, but we're like looking deeper into it every day, and seems like it's 39 cents now, and some of the price targets are pointing at anywhere from like $3 to $6. So not sure if it's an actually a good investment or not, but trying to find out more about the company.
That sounds like something people would say when they're holding onto a bunch of bags and they want to dump it off on people. Give it a 10 to 20x valuation and be like, "Hey, everybody buy it." Yeah, I don't know about that one, man. I'll tell you what I am looking at today, though, is Meta. And after announcing its layoffs, I swear every single company that has announced layoffs has gone up like 3% following day. And at about 190, I still think Meta is pretty undervalued. I mean, I bought the thing when it was just below 100. It dropped down to like 89 at one point. But I think it's still pretty grossly undervalued at about $190. Like, that's 2016 prices, and the company's making twice as much money as it was back then. So after these layoffs, the company's getting a little bit leaner. Even though they're going to grossly overspend on their that metaverse play, I think the day is going to come where we start seeing Meta at over $300 again. So
they're losing users left and right.
Facebook is using losers.
Instagram too.
IG is using. I mean, their market penetration is like 98% of the world's internet access is on one of the apps. You know, their whole family.
Let's not forget they own WhatsApp, and they also own Instagram. Those are pretty popular, at least last time I checked. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, WhatsApp is popular, but they have no way of making it profitable. They have no way of making money from WhatsApp right now.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's how are they going to make some money here? It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, WhatsApp isn't really the type of app I would look to as like a cash cow. Like, I mean, the amount of money that they make on Facebook is still, I think, most of their total revenue. But
I agree with your point and what it is. I think it's one of those other things that you can anchor someone. Anytime you have someone within your ecosystem, the more things you have them doing, even if it adds no value to you, the less likely they are to leave. So you're right. They've got 2 billion active users. That's ridiculous. So I agree with you there.
Are we under the impression? Sorry, just wondering. Are we under the impression that Instagram is no longer the holder of the social media? I guess you would say influence. Are we predicting that maybe Google or, hate to say it, TikTok is going to take that from them?
I mean, TikTok's just fucking them up.
Already. TikTok already really
TikTok
does
has
hold
stolen the finfluence from everybody, basically, even from Twitter. Like a lot of the finfluencers that were on Twitter are now on TikTok making shorts. So
I think Facebook is turning more towards boomers.
Like it is. Like Facebook, when I was in college, Facebook was what you used to talk to other people. Like that was what kids used to talk to each other. Now it's the app for their parents. And like TikTok is what the young people use now. But I don't think, I mean, TikTok doesn't pay its influencers very well. It's all affiliate branding and stuff like that. So I don't think they're going to be able to hold on to the big names that long once they realize that they're not really getting paid like they would on other apps.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, does anyone have any information about the TikTok IPO? I know they're going to IPO. I just didn't know if it's confirmed fully or if the ByteDance is just kind of a speculative play.
I don't know. With all the overhead about them getting banned in the United States, I mean, that bill is constantly on the table. It's getting, slowly eaten away at access from the U.S. And personally, I think it's a little bit overkill. I mean, the amount of information that we share with all of our own apps, I don't know why TikTok is really the one that's getting hammered out, except that it's owned by China. But I don't know. With that being on the table, I don't think anybody's really going to fully invest in TikTok if it's going to get potentially banned off of the app stores.
Yeah, and the way I look at that too, I think the U.S. is going to use that more as a bargaining chip than an outright ban, because that's a pretty big deal. I think if you start really, cutting off limbs, and then they're going to be like, Tesla, get out, Apple, we don't want you, and it can really escalate. So again, I think it's just saber rattling right now. But Meta has been catching, I think, a bid because of that news every time it comes out. Meta and Snap in a lesser sense. Go ahead, Gino.
They already tried to ban TikTok, and it did get removed from the App Store, and then they had to bring it back because of a lawsuit. So
correct. The servers are now here. So again, it's bargaining. They're not going to actually, there's going to be this back and forth is what I think. I don't think there's just going to be a clear cut, it's gone, right? So
I don't think you're wrong either. I think you're probably spot on with that. But when you're looking at TikTok as an investment, am I going to put my money into betting that it's just saber rattling? Hell no. So I'd still avoid that IPO, but only because I'm going to be too cautious to bet that the saber rattling doesn't end up escalating, especially if China really starts flexing its own muscles against us. I think TikTok does wind up on the chalk and block after all.
All right, this is all very interesting and all, but I'd like to get back to plays. And Kamikaze brought a very interesting point about Meta. They made a lot of layoffs. So I would like to bring a play forward that has made about 475 layoffs recently. Sirius XM, they laid off 475 people yesterday. That's bullish. So I already have $5 calls on them. That means that shit should probably print sometime soon. Am I right? So yeah, let's get those $5 calls.
Dude, I just bought a car, and Sirius XM pushes so hard to try to get people that are buying cars into paying customers for them. I didn't even know that company still existed, honestly. I think as far as actually like turning their story around, it's going to take a lot more than.
Yeah, let's start the Doge for outdated technology, Sirius XM radio. Let's be honest. At the end of the day, everyone's listening to Spotify, Apple Music, podcast, plugging in their phones, listening to MP3s, whatever you have you. Yeah, come on.
I have one person that I know that
what
listens to
expiration?
Sirius. And that
What
was my mother.
expiration date did you guys do for your meta calls?
Hold on one second. Latter day. What'd you say? Sorry.
I know one person who listens to Sirius satellite radio, and that would be my mother.
You know two now. Your boy Mass Gamer listens to Sirius XM satellite radio. Rock the bells radio, motherfuckers. Anyway, these to answer the other question, these calls are dated out to 3/17. They're $5 calls. Right now, they're currently worth 2 cents. The average cost is 4 cents a piece. But as soon as these things double up, I'm gonna sell half on a double, and they will eventually double up.
Hey, Mask, just a quick question on that Walgreens play you had. What were you looking at? The 37 for 37 calls for how much?
The 37s for less than 14 cents. I was going to try and get in at 10, but they're at 14 right now, and it's dated for 3/17. Don't look at the ones for this week. Look at the ones for next week. The 3/17s.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, good morning. I've getting ready for work, but I wanted to bring some points up. Want to talk about Senator Carper on the Homeland Security Council selling his TSM along with Warren Buffett and buying Raytheon. He did this on the 21st of February. It just got reported. Like his filing just got reported on March 2nd. Looking back in the history, looks like on the 21st of February when he actually made the trade is when Pentagon officials went over to Taiwan and pissed off China. So looks like he's kind of bearish on TSM, bullish on Raytheon. So make of that what you will. Speaking of jumping on dicks, Grindr reported a 35% increase in revenue and had a pretty bullish letter to their investors. I'm really liking what they have to say. I'm really loving their increase in revenue. They got so much cash from their IPO. This baby is going up. And the third thing I wanted to say was my Intel calls printed pretty big from the time that I bought them, so I already sold. I'm waiting to. I was happy with it. If anybody was following me on that trade, just letting you know that I'm out. I'll probably be getting in again. It printed way faster than I thought it would. So thank you. I mean, I think I have one more thing, and I'm gonna go look at my notes and see what I have to say.
Grinder's down this morning. Do you know why?
Because the market is irrational, but it's a perfect buying opportunity.
So speaking of irrational things, opinion, this is in line with my SPY 500 calls for 2024. Equally irrational. I'm thinking that the Reddit Talk Town Hall is going to be them giving us our influencer contracts. They're going to be announcing that they're monetizing it. They're excited for it. What do you think?
I am not so confident.
They're canceling the talk. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, did you just say Reddit influencer?
The name is actually Influencer.
That shit sounds cursed as fuck.
It sounds like it belongs on Grindr. The other thing I was gonna say was that it's always a good time to buy General Mills. I've been buying them for 10 years. Same thing with Coke. Campbell's Soup screwed up really badly during the pandemic. I was really upset, and I cannot believe that they would fumble so badly. However, going into a recession, that is their absolute wheelhouse. This is what they are known for, surviving. They're the absolute epitome of recession stocks. And I'm very intimately knowledgeable of the company. Thank you.
I just want to say that you're in a recession when WallStreetBets is talking about General Mills, Campbell's Soup, and Coca-Cola. It'd be unheard of in 2021 for us to be talking about those.
I talk about Coke a lot.
Yes. I mean, that's the shit I'm buying right now.
I mean, I own Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I thought we
got
love
shares.
Coke at Wall Street Bets.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves Coke here at Wall Street Bets.
I mean, I bought
Coke
the
is
shares
in
when
the
it was like
official-
40-something bucks. I'm just holding on to that forever. Like, that's a
Coke
stock
is
that's
in the-
never going to lose its market share.
Coke is in the official slut ETF.
And we know that pays dividends. Thanks, Slut. I appreciate your coming in, speaking.
Thanks.
I mean, you do have a point. In 2021, it would be like, okay, this is a dating app for your pets with an 81 PE ratio, but I think this thing really has legs going to the moon, right?
Moass.
Like that's the kind of shit. Now everyone's much more conservative on valuations and play.
Good God, Scald, you actually just came up with a brilliant idea. A dating app for your pets. Owners get to meet each other that way. So it's like a workaround for having like an actual dating app. You get to meet other people with pets. Holy shit.
Dude, we already have a dating app for pets. It's this thing that I used when I was trying to find a dog, like I was trying to get a puppy. You go on the app and you find people that are trying to breed their dogs together, and they just bring them together and they fuck and make babies so that people can buy them at like discounted prices. I don't remember what the app is called, but it's out there.
Animal trafficking, lovely.
All right, I got one. Domo had their earnings last night. They announced that the CEO is stepping down and it's being replaced by the founder. They posted a more narrow quarterly loss. They didn't lose as much money. What else do I have on? Total revenue was, this is for the fourth quarter, revenue was $79.6 million, increase 14% year over year. And for the full fiscal year 2023, revenue was $308.6 million, an increase of 20% year over year. Yeah, I'm bullish on Domo. They cleared the upper management, and it looks like they're replacing them and bringing back the A team.
I have a few thoughts. Number one, Raytheon, great buy. I used to work for Lockheed. More of a blue chip stock, but those companies will do nothing but print money for the rest of eternity. Grindr, great buy. Making a ton of money. You can't go wrong with that. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about a stock that's less than $1 billion cap, but one of my plays is some leap calls on EVTL, because the plane they make is just sexy AF. And if electric cars do so great, why wouldn't electric planes do so great?
Yeah, no, Copper, you bring up an interesting point. I was actually speculating that maybe the boats and aerospace would be the next play for the EV market, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, EVTLs, is, in my opinion, is I used to, like I said, I used to work for Lockheed. I looked at a lot of the different ones out there, and EVTL has a pretty good Twitter following. They do pretty good advertising. Their plane looks really good. It can take off straight vertically. And the 2025 leap calls for a $2.50 strike are cheap AF. And the last time they released any sort of news, it popped to $11. So if you just sit on those $2.50 calls, they'll say something, it'll pop, sell, repeat, rinse,
Can you give us that ticker again?
It's Echo Victor Tom Larry, EVTL. Just check out their Twitter and take a look at the plane. You'll see what I'm talking about.
So my only question here, this isn't necessarily like, I know this is a very speculative play, but were they really founded 2 years ago? Are they actually that young of a company, or is that data wrong?
Yeah, they're a fairly young company, but they already have a working prototype. They're already training people. They're working on a program to train people how to fly it. And the last time their stock spiked to $11 was because I think they signed a contract with American or some other airline to produce like 100 of them. And the play is that they're going to create air taxis to be able to get you from like one side of LA to the other side of LA quickly instead of going through a tunnel like Elon was originally trying to do.
Okay, that I'm very bullish on. That sounds badass.
Jetpacks.
Actually, the development of an air taxi infrastructure is part of Trump's 2024 platform. And I am actually not joking. Like, it was one of his 5 points. He said he wants to develop air transportation and air taxi infrastructure. And I was like, what the hell is he talking about? But apparently it's this company. So,
well, imagine he went from having to take a limo through New York City everywhere to having Air Force One, and then having to go back to being a private citizen without a helicopter and realized how much it sucks.
Yeah, so I'm sitting on like 300 calls. Yesterday, for whatever reason, the 2025 calls were the same price as the 2024 calls, and I scooped up like 30 of them before that error got fixed or whatever. And also, throw up the Doge for my dog, who my name is after, Copper Murphy. He's a male red Doberman who I am actually taking him to be bred on Saturday. He's getting his first piece of dog ass.
Hell yeah! Right on, bro.
Copper, the dog pimp, everyone. Copper.
Yeah, let's throw up that Doge for your dog's.
Wow. Someone made it, boys.
Yeah, he's 7 years old, and he's finally getting his first piece, man. And if anybody wants some Doberman puppies, hit me up.
It's never too late to see the other side. But yeah, I digress before Pettit calls us.
You're gonna have to watch him after that, man. He's really gonna be a wild animal. Why didn't you tell me, Dad?
So, looks like Apple is slowly losing its value. VIX is at 24 cents up. Was around 18 about 30 minutes ago. So, it'll be an interesting day for sure.
Just waiting for 10 o'clock so this man can open his mouth.
Yeah, I'm still waiting too. I'm still waiting to see what he wears too at the same time.
Well, and he's speaking tomorrow too, so is he going to have the exact same speech for both? Or from what I've heard, he's going to have to kind of talk out of both sides of his mouth for each side, right, of Congress?
Well, from I've got to work the salt mines this week, so I won't have a lot of internet. But so I don't have any options plays. But looking at some technical analysis charts and videos, it looks like SPY is reaching the top of as high as it goes. So I'm kind of bearish for this week.
Just want to tell you to bring some water with you. It's a salty situation for sure.
Is that true for the Dix play as well?
What are the Dix plays?
Yeah, it's true for that too, and the grinder play. But yeah, salt mine slot. That sounds interesting. You got any good plays for that? Got any good mining companies we should be looking at?
Cleveland Cliffs.
I do have one. TECK is one that I'm looking at. They're beating down. They're getting beaten down, and I think I want to get puts on them.
Can you repeat that one more time? Was that TCK or sorry?
TECK, yeah. Rad could tell you more about it. If it was up here.
Is Rad in the audience? Hello, Rad. You're being missed right now. Of course, he's Canadian, so he's not here.
No, we did talk about this last week, and I think it had to do something. I want to say the road. Go ahead, Opinion.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say I'm here, but I did miss the question, so I guess I wasn't here.
You guys talked about TECK last week? That's wild.
Yeah, no, we did. Yeah, and again, I think it was Rad. Someone had brought it up again, Rad's expertise. I want to say in Canada, they just denied them the access to the road, so they can't mine. So that's the problem, I think.
Damn, you guys are on it. I was not even. I thought I was the only one who had thought of this ticker. Speaking of the only one who's thought of tickers, Silvergate, like I've been saying for months, is fucked. But I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say the S word. I think there is a good chance that they squeeze. They are shorted 70%. They've been beaten the hell down. They've exited their exposure to the crypto sphere in general. They're going back to a regular bank. They can rely on their FDIC to bail out their deposits, but I'm certain that this fall is going to have a considerable bounce. 70% short interest.
And you did cover, right, Slut? I know we talked about that, but you did cover.
Yeah, I did, and then they dropped another 16%. But I appreciate the rationality that I exhibited. You know, I'm happy with myself. I have made a lot of money on their demise, and it feels awesome and great, especially for somebody who has played stocks most of his life and didn't like crypto pumpers. And it feels so good watching them get humbled while I make money. Sorry, Scald.
Oh, it's all right, man. I've been in crypto a long time.
Yeah, I don't take it personally either. So I'm glad you made.
Everyone's freaking out about the crypto collapse, and Skull's like first time.
Right.
Yeah, had you met me in 2013, I would have been like, bro, let me tell you about this thing called Bitcoin. But like, you know, now I'm pretty chill about it. I don't really care.
But yeah, like I've been saying from the beginning, Silvergate is fucked royally.
Can I maybe steer this back to EVTL for just a quick second? I was just wondering what your strike price was and about what you consider a good price for those calls. If I wanted to watch them and hunt for a good price to get in on it.
$2.50 strike for 2025, and I was able to buy some yesterday at 45 cents. So anything under 50 cents is a good price for the 25s. Anything like under like 30 cents or under is a good price for the 24s. My majority is in the 24s, but I'm starting to stack up some 25s just in case it takes them a little bit longer. But that's one you just kind of throw like $3-4 grand at and just sit back and wait for them to announce something, then sell at the top, rinse, repeat, and just kind of keep feeding in shares.
Okay, I might get in a little bit smaller numbers than that, but I was curious about it. Thank you.
And just last thing I was going to say was also, as part of my research last weekend, looking into Congress member purchases and buys on tickers that I'm interested in. Virginia Fox has bought more FLNG. So is another congressperson, and they have only bought, they have not sold. So that's extremely bullish to me. FLNG.
It's Flex, right?
Yeah, I've got Flex myself. You can get a pretty good covered call rate on them. Give me a second. I can tell you.
They're a steady company, new-ish. They got a great dividend. This is one of my plays. I've been bringing it for over a year. I got a whole DD on them. I really, really like this company. They ship natural gas from America to Europe.
Yeah, I like these guys too.
They're going to be crucial. What'd you hear of them?
I got in when I heard dollar dividend a couple of weeks ago, and I took a deep dive into them. I got in like the day before their ex-dividend date. But one of the big things for me that I saw is they just recently got a new carrier tanker online, and that's their specialty thing. They have specialized carriers to ship liquefied natural gas, which requires special containment. You can't just carry it like you can diesel.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Well, all natural gas shippers have that kind of stuff, but FLNG has the newest, latest, and greatest technology for doing it, and they have the lowest leakage rate, so they have the most profitability for gallon that they ship.
Yes,
Yep.
and their dividend is really good, and those midstream companies tend to not go too crazy. Like I was always like a big Kinder Morgan holder in my Don't Lose the Farm account because they stay at $18 and churn out 6% a year. But I got April 21 calls. I sold April 21 calls at $39.75, which is like almost a $5 profit from where they are now, and I got $40 for a contract for those. And that's a really good augment to their already pretty great dividend, which I think we're getting paid today for that.
Possibly the ex-dividend date. Yeah. So I brought them up on the ex-dividend date. I'm glad I could convince you. They do have a fucking great dividend, and their stock is going up. Somebody compared them to Ford's dividend, but the problem with Ford is it's down like 20% on the year. These guys are up 60% on the year, so it's good shit.
What's the ticker again?
FLNG.
And it's a quarterly dividend too. I think we're getting paid today also. I'm happy about that. And then, so anyways, politicians are buying it up. They're not selling it. So that's bullish. That's all I got to say. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I know it's a good pick, and I appreciate it because I'm actually afraid that I might sell it at a $5 a share profit. And if it goes off, I may end up just buying the damn things back.
I've sold some covered calls.
Okay, guys. Just a quick update on Troika. It's now up 20% on the day. If you bought in, or I mentioned it yesterday, you'd be up 60% in basically a trading day. As I said, I've de-risked out of the position, and I'm holding the shares for free. I'm free rolling the remaining shares. As I said, this is a super high-risk trade. I wanted to get my money out as quick as possible. Yeah, no balls. Yeah, that's fair.
Which stock is this one?
Troika, TRKA. If you look, every single day it trades the entire float. On average, it's been trading the entire float of the stock every day, which is just stupid. I mean, like, I don't even know what to say about that.
Just super liquid, right?
Yeah, the most liquid.
On the 3-month chart, it's up 622%. So that does seem to be like a long-term growth kind of play, correct?
That's a pump and dump.
Oh, no, really?
Money laundering.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it's absolutely a pump and dump. And I got in during the pump, and I got out while it was still pumping. So that's that.
Next time you find one of those pump and dumps, please let me know. I love small bets that can make me a shitload of money.
Imagine if you could put options on those.
Where's Tuesday? Where's Tuesday Fly? He wants to give you props.
So who's joining the market today? I feel like the market's already pricing in hype.
He doesn't come around anymore. Sorry, go ahead, Larson.
Go ahead, Larson. I think you were saying something about the Fed meeting, something about rate hike.
Yeah, I'm just not thinking too much about it, but I mean, inflation is still sticky. I was a bull a month ago, but I'm pretty much sitting on a lot of cash right now. I did miss some rallies, I know, but I just think that they're going to have to raise rates a little bit higher, or maybe the next time. But maybe the market's not really pricing that in.
Well, the thing is, with those reports, a lot of people were saying that there were like seasonal changes at the end of the year. So like starting with the February reports, we'll see if that's actually like true or not.
And Larson, to your point, if you look at the interest rate market, the bond market in the last, let's call it 7 trading days, it's actually kind of caught up to the fact that the Fed has to go higher, even if it is just a quarter point this time, but let's say it goes quarter, and then stops for the rest of the year. That's where the bond market has moved, and I think that's pushed stocks around the last 6 trading days. So I would still be cautious. I do think rates are going higher myself too.
Cool, appreciate it.
I brought up an interest rate sensitive play, TMV. It's a triple bullish one. So basically, if you agree with that, it's a good daily one. I wouldn't go further than that. But when I brought that up to Hardy yesterday for today and tomorrow's meeting, he said, wait till the actual interest rate meeting on the 21st, 22nd. He thought there would be a lot more. And he's even going to host that special talk right before Jay Powell speaks at 2 on the 22nd, if that helps too on any decisions you have. But that's a very short-term play, what he thinks. But just to think that he thinks that has more gravity than today and tomorrow's meeting.
Which ticker was that? You said as a triple.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I apologize. No, I mumble sometimes. It's TMV. It's triple bullish on the TLT. So if you think interest rate goes up, this thing goes up. But it's a triple leverage one, so you don't want to own it for really more than a day. Like I would get in and out the same day. When you start buying options on that, you're leveraging your leverage. You're just asking to get your butt whooped. But it's a good way to take small bets where you think there's going to be like an interest rate movement, if you will, in the market. I like that. I have yet to play it yet, but will be here shortly.
I just want to add to that on the leverage on leverage thing. From what I read, for the triple leverage ETFs, the option premiums are priced in a way that makes them more similar to the underlying. So I don't know exactly if it is more leverage or if it's just the fact that the contracts are cheaper because the share price is lower. So.
I mean, anecdotally, when I was talking this in Discord the other day, it's I know someone who did lose their ass buying leverage on this. So
yeah, I mean they move so much bigger day to day, but I think because I was looking at leaps on one of them, and somebody told me that, like, let's say if it's TQQQ, you're not going to get any more leverage than if it was QQQ.
I think that has to do with the math behind it. Kind of like 99. I don't really know exactly without like writing it down, but basically.
Hardy would have explained it already. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, where's he at? Hardy.
Yeah, I just know that it's something to do with the map and the math of the options pricing, but I don't know too much about it.
Well, anyhow, enough boring boomer plays. It's a little leverage, but
bad news. Elon Musk is saying stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, I think he does that every day. I was going to ask if anyone had any other plays, but go ahead, Latterday.
Well, I just got a news alert on my phone saying he's railing against Cheney, Schiff, and the January 6th House Committee. But I also have a play, if we want to hear that instead.
I would say play, probably.
Let's go.
Yeah,
and I tried to send Hardy's. We'll see if he comes on, if Hardy comes on or not. Be sure to ask your question quickly, because market will open. He did post his tickers of interest, by the way, in the comment section. You want to check that out? But go ahead.
All right. So this weekend I was in Charlotte visiting my sister. She works at the Carowinds theme park, and while I was sitting in line for a ride and had to wait an hour after it broke down before I got on the ride, I'm like, wow, this is kind of dumb. I wonder if this company is publicly traded. So I found out that they are, and turns out it's not just that theme park, but several So I hope you're all ready to have fun, because that's the ticker. It's Cedar Fair, and they own about 13 theme parks across the country, including Knott's Berry Farm, where I have some unresolved childhood trauma. But they have a crap ton of debt. They're, I think, 135%. So they're not necessarily to the level of Bed Bath & Beyond, but they have more debt than the company is worth, I guess, or in relations to the revenue. And so I was looking at the chart. I'm probably going to do some more in-depth DD on this thing, but looks like usually around April, May is when the stock price peaks, and they're already doing a lot worse than they were before. So right now they're, for the past year, down about 8%. They've climbed up about 15% year to date. So I'm looking at $55 calls. I'm looking at either the April 21st or the June 16th expiration. And I'll let you know more when I get more information.
Yo, Knott's Berry's Farm is like the poor man's Disneyland. I think it's like just outside of
She's outside of Los Angeles. So
Anaheim. Yeah.
So I was looking, and you can get a ticket bundle which includes the parking and their fast pass for a little bit cheaper than what you would have to pay for the same thing at Disneyland. They also do the like variable ticketing, so it's not the flat rate that Disney is now in as well. Like, I was shocked because Carowinds, you could get the ticket and the fast pass for under $100, but half the rides were down that day, so that's why I was literally looking at it. I just downloaded like almost all the apps they have for their parks, so I can look at the roller coasters, see how many of them are up, how many of them are down, how often they break down.
Yeah, I visit the Charlotte area a lot, and I don't think I've heard of anybody going there except for like Halloween.
Yeah, which apparently they had an issue this year for Halloween. But it's interesting because like Knott's Berry Farm is open all week long, and then Carowinds is only open like for the weekend. And so I will say that if it had been for the fact that my sister was an employee and she got me a ticket for free and she got in for free, I would have not spent the money on that park.
All right, I have 2 minutes to my next meeting, but someone had mentioned the Fed funds rate meeting and potentially speculating on it. That Fed funds rate announcement is out on the 22nd, and a lot can happen between now and then. So I'm of the opinion, wait until the rate hike is announced. Enter as close as you can so that you're only exposed to the effect of the rate change, whatever it may be, or the rate announcement. And yes, assuming Reddit doesn't pull the plug, we'll be hosting a talk about 15 minutes prior so we can go through potential plays and how to handle those trades, similar to what we did last time. I'm sure someone can dig up the last Fed funds rate meeting and post it to the chats. All right, have fun.
I like when you whisper to me.
Thanks, Hardy.
Ooh, have you transcribed that one yet, Opinion? That may be a good one to test, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've got all the transcriptions, more or less, or the recent ones, anyways. Actually, yesterday I was working on making a decent layout so that, they're all easily accessible and you can actually listen to the recordings, in one place with better navigation than whatever Reddit is trying to do. So hopefully I'll have that soon with the transcriptions there as well.
If you have them on custom flare, then you should be able to click the flare and have it all
laid out under the flare, right?
Yep, that's true. That is true. Yes, actually, I don't know. I didn't think of that.
Are you using Whisper to transcribe?
You're speaking through the blockchain, but yes, I'm using Whisper. Is there something better? Well, what I'd actually also like to do is do like real-time transcription so that, people can actually listen or see it in like a minute still at best.
Dope.
I don't know if Scald heard any
No,
of that.
there isn't. That's dope.
Yeah, sorry, I spaced out for a little bit, but I was reading on. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Transcription.
All right. So I don't know
I
where,
heard you.
oh, buddy, you're out there right now, man. We're not getting even like a tenth of what you're saying. Sorry.
That being said, while we were talking earlier, I was reading up on Salesforce and all the stuff they're doing. So it's not actually any of their own proprietary stuff. It's really just, it is like their proprietary data. They're just using like a trained ChatGPT model. That's how I understood kind of the press releases I read. So I guess the question is all the value then going forward going to be in the siloed data that people have? And then if so, who are the big winners? Who has the data that's valuable? Because I mean, first of all, there's, such a thing as data rot. Things that are older quickly lose their value in terms of data, in terms of relevancy and value. So there's that. But then also, more and more data has been going behind walled gardens. So Reddit, Discord, suddenly became these massive knowledge bases. Reddit's still fairly open, Discord very much not so. So the question is kind of, what's the next stronghold? Who's got the data that's supposedly gold?
Facebook and Meta, if you will, and Google. I mean, they've got the most, if that's really the gold mine, right?
Well, I don't know if most is the goal, right? It's got to be high quality content or high quality data. I mean, you could almost say that GitHub has the most high quality because it's all code. Hopefully, at least 50% of it is actually working and decent, and then you can use that, with Copilot.
Well, and back to we were talking about the voice dictation, so not to get away from there, but I did look it up. There is a Windows version. It's called Dragon Professional. They use it in schools for people that have different, disabilities. So that's been around for a long time. So, I mean, that just shows you right there, Microsoft's been making money off of it. It's like $700 for one contract. So Microsoft too, I mean, not just with their current chat GPT, but they've had a lot of data too. And they're always on the cutting edge. So what do you think about that opinion?
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, it kind of makes me wonder how come they weren't the ones to come out with something like Whisper AI, right? Like, how come their software? I mean, I don't know if it's powered by AI or what they're doing behind the scenes, because yeah, you're exactly right. It's been around for like since I was in school, really, like quite some time. So yeah, I mean, I think what we're seeing here is that a whole bunch of industries with these large, incumbents who've had zero real incentive to innovate are now being upended. And it's not particularly clear whether OpenAI will be the biggest benefactor, although obviously their extremely rapid growth to a $30 billion market cap is nothing but an incredible success. But I don't know if that's enduring, and I guess we've talked about that a lot, so I don't want to belabor the point.
I'm going to sound real old, but one of my favorite lines, I'm going to dovetail this into the current employment market. So you have low unemployment, but you also still have a very low participation rate. So now companies are having to find new ways to innovate. It's almost out of pure need for survival too. So that's going to jump into a different realm, I think, where the AI has been around and we've been using it for 10 years. Now it's really going to get put to use, right?
Yeah, participation rates are just trending down, even though we're in the short term trending up from the COVID lows. It's quite a scary graph if you look at it. And add to that the fact that how is it calculated? I think the denominator somewhere in there is, like the working age population, and that is also shrinking. So it's actually shrinking at a faster rate given demographic changes, I think. What does that mean for investments other than, calls on old age homes?
Yeah, personally, I think it's the race of who. I think what's really going to be shown at the end of the day is who can capitalize on their data in a sense that makes sense to the current end user. I think that's really what it's going to come down to. And I think Meta, within some respects, has had a long time to pan out that data. So I feel like they have an opportunity. But obviously, if they're going to be pushing out their VR sets, I don't see anybody like jumping on board. But I think we should take that in consideration. But I digress.
I'm sorry, whoever I cut off before. It was a good conversation. Thank you, opinion.
Elliot, are you keeping your eye on Costco?
Yeah, I am. I'm looking at them right now. I'm also looking to SPY, trying to figure out what it's going to do here. It's literally just sitting here.
I'm
Costco's
already
crazy.
in and out of calls. I'm already in and back out.
Nice. Yeah, that thing, if you guys don't know, it jumped about $8.80 pre-market. Or, I mean, once the market opened. So it's pretty good for the last, 7 minutes?
Was that because they said, yeah, we're going to be raising our rates or membership costs, but we haven't said when yet?
I have no clue. The reason I saw the play and was looking at calls is because the Comet curve told me to.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I heard their hot dogs are doing still good. So, yeah, my time will tell.
I heard that at one of their locations, I think in Washington State, they had a roast beef sandwich that was like $10, and people were freaking out about how expensive that was for Costco.
Yeah, there's also a competitor, BJ's Wholesale Club, that trades under the ticker BJ. Just throwing that out there.
And they're reporting on Thursday if anyone's looking at a potential play too. You sound much better, Skull. Glad you're back.
Yeah, no, I'm like actually back at my house, so I have a much better setup here. Not having to drive through the corn and dodging train derailments, which seem to be a popular thing here in Ohio this time of year.
No, my thoughts and prayers for all those people that were in Ohio and have been affected by that. But I mean, geez, can you guys get any more derailments? I mean, seriously, every time you turn the news on.
I remember being on here talking about Norfolk Southern, and you guys were, or somebody was like, well, the news is already kind of out. Yeah, I don't think, something else can really take it any lower. And then another one happened.
Oh, so ironically, that was me. And I am right in the middle of Ohio. So we've got different elements on the right. We've got them on the left. I'm feeling a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, I saw a Norfolk Southern train go by yesterday, and I thought about that. I was like, there we go.
And I almost said something to that point because but that's another factor. You know what I mean? So, but then they came out last night saying that they're going to actually add a safety feature to keep it current. They're like, okay, fine, we're going to fix the wheel bearing problem. So in aftermarket, it was up, but it's not now. So maybe there is more pain for them. They keep shooting themselves in the foot, right?
I don't know how you fix that. Are they going to put like training wheels on the outside of the train to keep it from tipping over? Or?
You might have to put in a safety feature where, like, if they ignore the alarm, it just automatically stops the train. It's the only thing I can think of. But it was interesting because I saw a comment on one of the other train derailments that they had, and someone's like, yeah, actually, we average 1,700 train derailments a year, which is, like, more than 4 a day. But it's because they had that one with the chemical spill. Anytime a Norfolk Southern train derails, it's like, you know, Chris Rock is not going to be able to keep that name out of his mouth.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is, like, these trains are using a braking system that was developed about 150 something years ago, give or take. There's a mod, so it breaks in a linear fashion. So like the engine starts to brake, and then slowly it goes down the line, and each rail car starts to brake in succession. Now, for the last 30 years, there's been a braking system that's more expensive, where every car brakes simultaneously. And like in Europe, it's already required that trains have this, so that way they can stop quickly, especially hazardous material trains. Here in the US, we don't have that. So this is probably going to be a cost that Norfolk Southern is eventually going to have to bear, especially because our senators here in Ohio are proposing legislation against, well, I shouldn't say against, but are proposing legislation to increase the safety of trains for obvious reasons. So
yeah, they're talking about passing legislation for regulation. So you think, because honestly, I don't think this would only affect Norfolk Southern. You think that Norfolk Southern is going to wind up dragging the other railways down if they decide to implement this nationwide?
Well, I just think it'll be a cost that they all have to bear, right? And the two senators here that are proposing these regulations are I mean, they're hardcore magatarians, right? I mean, so these are not the kinds of guys that would normally propose regulation of anything. They would just be like, you know, just discharge your industrial waste into the water. So, like, the fact that these guys are coming forward with regulation should tell you how serious they are about it.
Real quick, I FOMO'd back into Costco, and I'm up. Costco calls, and I'm up 12%.
Dope.
Just a quick FYI, you actually do discharge your industrial waste into the water.
Well, yeah, I know, because we like destroyed the EPA.
No, that's what they tell you to do. The Clean Streams Law doesn't allow you to discharge it over land. It has to go into a body of water. I
can't wait for that new Apple Watch feature that tells me how much percent PFCs I am. It's awesome.
Makes you think, doesn't it? Makes you think.
Somebody, I don't know if you guys can hear me. I got this new Bluetooth set on. It's pretty strong.
I can.
Honestly.
Can you come closer to your mic? It's sound a little bit far. Sounds like you're on train derailment right now.
Take the sock out of your mouth.
I'm on Norfolk Southern right now, bud. Sorry.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're in the train right now. Can you come a little closer to the mic, please?
I'm trying.
Okay, well, just I don't know what to tell you then.
Well, while we're waiting for him to get the duct tape off of his mouth, I did buy some grinder shares this morning at Open, and they are doing very nice.
Nice.
All right, is that better?
Are you there? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so somebody had mentioned BJ's a while ago. I'm not talking about the guys you're meeting on Grindr. I'm talking about the.
No, that was Dick. But go ahead.
Yes. No. The alternative Costco play. They got an earnings call coming up on Thursday. I was looking at their call spread. For some reason, maybe I'm like, I don't know. If somebody could look at it. The 95 strike are like at $5 with no buyers, but everything around it is at like 75 cents. Well, 5 cents is what I meant to say. But I just picked up like 10 of them for like, what, 50 fucking bucks. So I I'm just gonna hold it through earnings. But it's kind of a weird. Has anyone seen this chain for the March 17th expiration? Is it just like factoring in the earnings or something? I don't know. I just bought some up just in case if it was a glitch, but I don't give a fuck.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been to BJ, so I don't know if I'm really an expert on the subject.
Bro, why are they at that price?
Right? Am I crazy? You see it, right? 95,
Yeah,
5
yeah.
cents.
You were able to get that? You were able to get them for
Fuck
that
yeah.
price?
I picked up 9 of them. I didn't have any buyers. I said, fuck it. And everything around me is like 75 cents. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's bizarre. I'm going to pick up a few of them.
I mean, even for like IV into the run up, like I'll just sell. Like what the like
Well, what doesn't make any sense is that all the options above it. Oh, they just fixed the price, dude.
Yeah,
I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it. We're up. Oh wow.
Yeah,
I just up bigly.
I picked up 40 contracts at 5 cents.
holy shit, it just jumped up to 35 cents. It's still a wide ass spread though, but fuck.
Donations can be made to my. No, I'm kidding. Good job.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
be careful, because all the ones above that have basically no volume, guys.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It was just kind of a weird. I'm guessing because they just went public like in December, and it's kind of low for their stock price compared to all the wholesalers that are like trading extremely high up. So I wonder if they're just going to run up into the mid hundreds after earning and then just kind of sideways out.
It says I just made a 260% return on this, which I know I'm not
You
going to
are
be able
welcome.
to sell them, but thanks.
Yeah, but on a serious note, I've seen this happening the past few days. Like what I was saying about those EVTL calls yesterday, the 25 expiration was the exact same bid and ask as the 2024 expiration.
That's just weird.
That was bizarre.
Super bizarre, right? Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
So VIX at $19 billion a day of zero DTEs. Price instability equals opportunity. I don't know. It just sounds like there could be other accidents maybe happening in the market, right? If this keeps happening.
That's what I'm thinking. There's got to be like gaps all over the option markets right now.
I mean, there always is, right? But you got to also look at the volume of the strikes above and below that strike, because it's possible that this was a weird one, because above it there were actually 2 options above it that actually had volume on it. But sometimes you'll see that kind of weirdness, and then if you look at the ones above it, there's no volume. But like people were trading the ones above it at a higher price, so I don't really know what happened.
Right.
That was
MMs know
weird.
something, bro. They know something.
It's just like mispricing on the market maker. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird play.
I'm just kind of generalizing, but it feels like, sometimes the markets can't keep up with the real, right? The true pricing. I mean, I don't even want to say it like that, but it seems like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Hopefully they don't void your transactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
London Stock Exchange time, right? Or London Commodities Exchange.
Elliot, are you seeing Costco? Looks like it's starting to get a little limp on us. It might be time to play it the other direction.
Is anybody putting any kind of plays into SoFi now with them trying to sue the Department of Education to get loan repayments started?
I really hope they win that shit. But yeah, I'm a long time holder of SoFi. I use some of their other products. I use their credit card, The credit card's kind of cool because they give you double points to invest in the stock market. So like instead of using your points for like airplane tickets or whatever, they will double your points. I think it's 2% or something like that of whatever you buy if you use it to buy a stock. So you get their credit card and then your points just constantly dump into a ticker of your choice. And so I just use my credit card points to buy SoFi stock. And I just don't touch it. I just don't pay attention to it. It just keeps going up.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because aren't payments set to resume in like June anyway?
Yeah, but I mean, like, SoFi is making a ton of money off of everything else they do. They've got a really good platform. The app looks good. It's easy to use. Their rates are low. You can get yourself a $100,000 personal loan for pretty low rates. Probably not something I should tell to people on this fucking thread, but you know.
You heard him, boys. SoFi, let's go.
Hell yeah, dog.
What's on SoFi? Introducing SoFi loans. Let's see if it's good. We don't know.
But no, to your point earlier, yes, the repayment is starting in June anyhow, and I thought the exact same thing when I read that article. Why waste the money to start it, 3 months earlier, right?
Well, my thought was, why waste the money filing a suit? I said, by the time it gets through the courts and a decision is made and appeals and everything else, it's going to probably be, 6 months from now anyhow.
I mean, to me, the other side of it is maybe they're afraid that they're going to push it back again. You know what I mean? They see that June as the can that they keep kicking down the road. So maybe that's what that says. If they're willing to put the money into it, right? Just to think the other way.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the Supreme Court actually does with a decision, like how soon they make one.
Yeah.
That's to what he said. That's exactly what they're doing. They're just drawing a line in the sand to basically say, quit your nonsense, make people pay their damn loans.
But the Supreme Court one is about the $10,000 forgiveness, so it's two separate issues with student loans.
Well, for people like me who have less than 10,000 in loans left, that would kind of be nice to get it eliminated. But at the same time, how much is that going to drag down the investments I'm in?
If inflation gets under control, none of this matters. Literally none of this. And my SPY $500 calls for January 2024 will print. Because if you look at the market, when the market comes out of a high inflationary period, typically if that resolves, it triggers the steepest bull runs in market history happen after moving from a high inflationary environment to a low inflationary environment. So, I mean, the macroeconomics of that, little things like student loan repayment, will not matter if the Fed successfully does a soft landing. Chances of that happening, though, probably pretty low, in my opinion.
Elliot, did you get in on the Costco puts? I was up 10%. I should have took, but I think it's got more to go down.
Yeah, I'm thinking Costco's going to go down. I'm looking at the SPY reversal right now. Starting to wonder if they're what's going on here, and then Apple gaps up. So, yeah, it looks like it's waiting for that Fed speak.
Did you guys just play Costco in both directions in the last 34 minutes?
Yeah, pretty much. Nothing else really looking good out there.
Nice.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I got those BJ calls at 5 cents, and they just filled selling them at 15 cents.
Oh yeah, dude, I've got mine. I should sell mine. Here we go. That was stupid. I was able to pick up 5 of them.
Dude, I was able to pick up 4. I was able to fill my order for 40 of them at 5 cents.
Oh, you got 40? Nice.
Fuck yes, guys. I'm holding mine.
Nice. It only filled 5 of mine, and it was just like, that was it. I was like, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's up there. people are bidding 15 cents on it.
That's
Jesus.
fucking wild, dude. I can't believe it. I'm telling you, I'm gonna hold it into the. I'm playing the IV run up. I don't give a fuck. I got him cheap as fuck.
Yeah, it might run the next few days for ahead of earnings, right?
I mean, I don't see why not.
Dix keeps rising, by the way. It's staying strong, staying long.
Yeah. I feel like this is a question for Hardy because Hardy has level 2 options data, so you can actually see the pricing across multiple order books simultaneously on an options chain. And I feel like we should ask him about this specific contract because he might be able to learn more than we can.
Yeah, that's a fact. Someone, send him a message, let him know, because I'm curious to know, because it's kind of weird behavior, but whatever. The market's weird.
Yeah, but I mean, also, if we weren't on here talking about it, what would have happened? You know, like
Right, exactly.
Also, anytime you mention Dick's stock, you have to mention Grinder, as it is also still going up.
Yeah, a little ironic. I know someone in the comments earlier, I think it was Roberts, whatever his last digits were on his username, mentioned that Dix and Grinder both had earnings today, I believe it was. So, yeah, it's a little coincidence, right? I just realized the talk of today was jumping on Dix. Wow. Good job, Pinion.
Read the script. Certainly seems the day for Dicks in more ways than one, huh?
Yes, sir.
So if a dick keeps grinding, it'll go up, is what I'm hearing.
Makes sense to me.
Now, if only Dick's, Grinder, and Wendy's had earnings on the same day, you'd have a trifecta.
I mean, BJ's is Thursday. We're closer. It's been in the same cloud, right?
So, Elliot, the Copic curve is saying the local bottom's in on Costco. This might be the turnaround.
All right. Yeah, let me just go ahead and spin my penny around to see if it lands on heads or tails here.
Gotcha. Let me know what it has to say, because I'm thinking I'm going back to calls.
All right.
So, I was very disappointed to learn that there are no publicly traded ammunition manufacturers, and I've identified this as a gap in the market. So maybe after I'm done raising funds for the company I'm currently working on, maybe I'll raise funds for an ammunition factory and then SPAC it.
You're not in the wrong state for it, right? I mean, I think you'd have easy tailwinds here for that.
We've got tons of, you look at something like Dayton, Ohio. We've got so many machinists and so much abandoned manufacturing capacity that you could just move into.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to make munitions, you got to be close to military bases, because the government. If you ever go on GovPlanet, where they auction off ex-government stuff, you can see what they paid for stuff.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard of Right Pat? It's where they took the aliens. It's there in Dayton.
It is the largest Air Force base on Earth. It used to be Camp Anaconda in Iraq, but we've downsized that one. So now Right Pat in Dayton is the largest Air Force base on Earth.
Sorry, it was more of a joke. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But you have knowledge. You actually worked for Lockheed, which I did call out last week, by the way.
Yeah, well, also, though, specifically, I think North Carolina has the largest munitions depot on the coast because they resupply the Atlantic Fleet out of Wilmington. So if you're specifically talking about ammunition, I don't know, North Carolina has a lot of bases.
That's fair. And I mean, if you're making a lot of it, I mean, ammunition is not a light thing to ship. It's not lightweight, so, You'd probably want to have access to more shipping and stuff like that than rail.
But are you really talking about arming the military? Or are you talking about people going to the range? What were you trying to capture more so? Skull.
I mean, I'm just thinking that there's a gap there. The fact that there's no publicly traded ammunition companies, and like America makes the majority of the world's bullets, just doesn't seem right. That one of them's not publicly traded.
I would do a combination, ammunition and coffee, and maybe throw some dildos in there, because you're really touching on a lot of like high demand markets. Last time I went to buy ammunition, they had bags of coffee and espresso in the gun store that was actually some of the best espresso I've ever bought.
Oh, they had Black Rifle Coffee Company there, right?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
it's the smoothest espresso you can buy.
Yeah, they're the local one of the local shooting ranges here also has Black Rifle Coffee in it. Which actually isn't Black Rifle publicly traded? Let me see here. I think
Yeah,
so.
it's publicly traded.
Yes, it is.
So yeah,
Their coffee's awesome.
yeah, BRC. This was a meme stock back in the day, back in April of 2022. It peaked at $33 a share. Absolutely nuts. But yeah, this was talked about on WallStreetBets. Black Rifle, when it was pumping like that.
J-Pow just dumped the market.
Did he? Wait, you serious?
Yeah, just said. I mean, he said what we wanted him. He said interest rates higher for longer, and literally the markets are now red.
Yep. I took profits a little early on my 490 Costco puts, but I'm not going to hop back in at this point.
It's flat now. It's leveling out, but I don't know. We'll see.
I thought he was supposed to say the word pause. It's the opposite.
What was the safe word?
The safe word was pause.
So is he going to raise it by more than 25 base points now?
It's the fact he's going to raise it is the fact that is why we're having what we're having right now.
Yeah, I went into SPY 399s for 21 cents and just sold them off for 53. So it's a nice day. It took a while though. I mean, that was kind of annoying to watch as you guys were talking about Costco rising, but I digress.
Interest rates to the moon. Oh Jesus! No
And
one
it
wants
says
to hear
increase
that.
the pace. It even says sorry.
Right. Sorry, what were you saying, not Travers? I'm sorry. I just wanted to commend Scald on that. We are going to hear that.
No, you're good, man. Just gonna say, it looks like he was pretty. He says it would, in the totality of the data, were to indicate the faster tightening is warranted. We would be prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes. You pow. I don't think he's gonna say disinflationary. Let's just put it that way.
You know, I'm not an economist. I'm not super good with math, but let me ask kind of a dumb person question. Honestly, I understand, spreading it out so the impact isn't as bad. But I mean, honestly, if they're going to raise it another 75 points, total, give or take, why wouldn't they just do it all at once and just let it tank the market?
This is a trigger recession.
So the reason why is because it generally takes 6 to 12 months for an interest rate hike at the federal level to fully basically percolate, move through the U.S. economy. So the danger would be that if you hiked rates too quickly and then inflation started to be controlled, then you'd be like, oh shit, we overhiked. And then it would lead to a recession, because by the time you see it cresting, like it's like a river, right? By the time you see it cresting, it's already the end of that flood, right? So the concern would be if you raise interest rates too high, too quickly, then you end up guaranteeing a recession. And so they're trying to thread that needle where they raise them fast enough that it addresses the inflation in a timely fashion, but not fast enough that it crashes the market afterwards. And that is a very, very hard thing to do.
And he is our resident economist. Sorry, Scald, but you are.
Yeah, that's Scald, the economist. He's a forecaster, a economist, a historian, believe it or not. He's also an expert on derailments. That's his new title, derailment expert. But yeah, thank you, Scald. We do appreciate that, as always. And let's not downplay Latter Day's little comment there as well. We do appreciate your mini micro forecast there.
My actual focus in college was on the economics of fraud. And then I got into crypto. What up?
Wow. No comment.
So you're uniquely positioned to comment on Sam Bankman-Fried. Please tell us more.
Dude, don't dox him.
Bro, I mean, it's just
You were at the
appalling.
party, Scald. Just admit it.
It's just appalling how simple it was. Of all the complex financial frauds I've seen, he just stole people's shit. Like, it's just so simple.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how boring was it? Like, I mean, seriously, right? I give it a 10 personally. Nothing like, there's no like sexy details in like the robbery, if you may.
Yeah, it wasn't like Enron where they had like the Raptor funds and they were moving money around and claiming capital expenses as gains and doing all this weird shit, right? And they didn't get a special exception from the New York Stock Exchange to use non-GAAP accounting principles, right? Which is like what Enron did. Like, like they didn't do any of that. Instead, they just went and stole people's money.
Yeah,
That was like the end of the scheme. We're gonna take your stuff and spend it. Like what?
Yeah, I feel like he watched Madoff and then said, you know what? I can do it. Hold my beer. I feel like that's really what he did.
Yeah, that's 100% it.
Yeah, and they just found again this past weekend. It just came out the news. They're like, yeah, we're pretty sure those $9 billion in customer funds are gone.
I don't think he knew what the fuck anything he was doing. I
but
think he was
drank
just
his
completely
Kool-Aid,
lost,
made
all fucked up on
He-
drugs all the time, fucking everybody.
No,
Literally.
that's a cover story. No, even in your most drug-addled mind, you know exactly what fraud is. Come on, man.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Can I say something completely unrelated? I might need some drugs to get over the depression from this morning. At open, I 100% meant to buy some 190 Tesla puts expiring Friday, and I got caught up talking to you guys and fucking forgot to do it.
Yeah,
Now
don't blame us.
now those
we
puts
all
are like,
made our positions today.
All right.
You need to go back, look in the mirror, and say to yourself, you know what? Next time, I'm just going to pull a trigger. And buy those
it wasn't.
puts.
I was gonna pull the trigger. I'm a complete degen. I just totally fucking forgot to do it, and now those puts are like 3x.
Yeah, so I just exited my SPY puts. That means it's about the whole market's going to tank. We're going to see COVID lows in the next 10 minutes. That's how it works for me.
Yeah, I sold mine way too early. Like I said, I got in for 21 cents, sold it for 50. It's currently going for 90, but better take some profit than none.
I started buying in to Bitcoin. So if anyone wants to, short it over the next few weeks, I'll be dollar cost averaging in. So that's a good indicator too.
Oh no, our mysterious mispriced BJ calls just went to 0. Whoops. Anyway.
So, hey, Elliot, I'm not seeing any sign of a turnaround on SPY. Are you? Like, even like a little.
I'm looking for a 398. I should have held, but I'm so used to talking on here that I know I lose my train of thought. So yeah, I sell when I can. I'm looking for 398 for SPY, 397, 90 give or take for the SPY. Obviously, it could go down more. So if you guys want to get in, that's not financial advice, by the way, by any means. So
you're playing the game. It's fine. And the game.
Yeah, you guys are playing literally a game. So take it from someone who bought it 399 at 21, 399 put today for 21 cents and sold it for 57. It's currently going for 91. So you know this is definitely not financial advice.
Sigh.
But there's always tomorrow.
I just filled on the 399s at 95 cents a share.
Just don't be calling me later. Telling me you lost. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, I'm looking for a 397, so it should print nicely for you.
Dude, I just love in the YouTube live stream of Pals Talk, someone just keeps spamming rocket and moon emojis. It's the funniest shit.
That's better
What are
than
you
last
watching it
Friday's
on?
poll, right?
It's on YouTube.
I'm going in 398 right now, Teddy.
Hold up, dude. I just exited mine. I could be wrong. He hasn't
you're a
died
total
off.
degen.
Nope.
You're a total degen.
Yep, you're right. It looks like it moved since you said that. Hopefully you got
What
filled.
a
and I
total
didn't fuck
degen.
you
No, I
over.
have control of the stick here.
Okay, yeah, you're.
No, I'm just kidding. It's all good.
No, I think there might be a short bounce coming up very shortly.
No, I did see that myself too. I won't argue that fact. So,
Okay.
Wow, that's crazy. We saw the same thing. But
yeah. It is funny because we use completely different fucking methods. Is the weird thing.
Yeah, no, I just put my finger in the air, and wherever the wind blows, I go, oh, it looks,
Somebody quick go get Tendy Chase or get his Rinko bars up here. So there's 3 different methods of TA going on.
I'm just go ahead.
Oh, I was just
Yeah,
gonna
what's the
say
Rinko bar?
someone in the Jerome Powell chat. So like everybody's posting. There's a bunch of people posting about gold and Bitcoin and stuff. Then someone posted about UVXY, and then someone posted Clove, like CLOV, Clover Health. Someone was like, buy Clove. It's like, what year did this person fall out of? 2021, right?
I thought you said Grove there for a minute. GROV.
Oh no, but I meant on that, dude.
Yeah, is that a plumber play?
As in it's going in the toilet? More than likely, yes. I didn't trust my gut enough on that reversal. I should have played calls for a little bit because it is hooking back around. I don't think it's just going to shoot back. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even get filled. Oh, hold on. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. It's going to downplay. Look, I held on to those 399 calls, or puts, I should say. Excuse me. And I was like sitting there waiting for like a good 25 minutes just to get like some momentum for value on that play. I'm looking at banks right now. JPM, BAC seem to be tickering back up. Very interesting. I'm not sure what you guys think about that. Obviously, with interest rates going up, banks tend to do really well in the market. I do personally like JPM and BAC. They're my personal ATMs. I say it as a joke because what I like to do is I like to play them and get free money from them. It looks like we're looking at their AAL, which is a play I like, American Airlines, as you guys know, currently gapping up about 20 cents, and DAL, Delta Airlines, is currently doing well too as well. So that's a little interesting just to see kind of how what's going up during the market versus what's going down with this Jay Powell talk, I should say. CRM's going up. I'm not sure how that even plays on interest rates. McDonald's is up $1.30, obviously. DPZ, I'm just curious, what do you guys think about Domino's? If someone wants to look that up real quick. I mean, how are we looking for Wendy's and all these other plays?
I mean, I think in general, like fast food and stuff like that will hold up well. I mean, it doesn't take very much money to buy McDonald's. Just saying.
So Domino's
And
is
Wendy's.
currently up a little less than 0.5%.
So, and their pizza's pretty good. I say they're pretty cheap because over here, to get a medium pizza, it's like $30. A large pizza here is almost $50 for a pizza. You don't believe me? Go to domino's.co.jp. yeah, it makes you go to America and feel like, wow, I'm getting a deal.
That's insane. So, like, when you go to Domino's, do you have to put on like a waistcoat and like a nice jacket and stuff, tie? I mean, is it that formal?
Yeah, I tried to do that. They still wouldn't let me use coupons, believe it or not. They don't have coupons here, so
what?
Yeah, so I had to go back to the back and get one of those old pizzas because they don't have a Wendy's here. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I'm just telling you, it's just ridiculous. The price.
Did
of
I
pizza.
hear underserved market?
I paper handed the shit out of those Costco puts.
I think by the time you import marinara and mozzarella cheese into Japan, you're probably going to have pretty expensive pizza. Just saying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just like we have this guy doing momentum trading on Costco. We thought Costco would be like a. Sorry, I hope he keeps making money.
Yeah, well, I'm done playing with Costco, but I bought those puts. I bought the calls at open. Those were very, very nice. And then I paper handed the puts. I was in at $3.85 a share and dumped at like $4.30, and now they're at like $7 for those $3.90 puts.
What does it mean? What's paper hand mean?
I sold my hands tore. I sold them early.
Okay.
That's the opposite of diamond hand.
Okay, sorry. I'm still catching up on the lingo here, guys. As you know, I'm not. I haven't been doing this for 100 years, so do apologize.
Yeah. So,
dude, is anybody else watching this Jerome Powell speech? It's infuriating. There's just a bunch of congressmen yapping about stuff they don't understand.
It's sound bites. That's the unfortunate thing. And Hardy even kind of spoke to that last week. Like, another reason why he didn't think it was going to be as much as a market mover is because it's him reading his like prepared remarks and then them saying dumb things, basically, to paraphrase.
That's literally what's happening. Like, he comes out and he's like, this is what's happening with the economy. And now this guy's rambling about supply chains during COVID. And I'm like, what are you even talking about, dude? Like,
inflation, baby. That's what it is. That's what the voters want to hear about. So they're tough on inflation. So they're going to be tough on him. So,
did you see he's saying they're going higher than previously expected? Did anybody already say that?
Yeah.
For the rate hikes?
My response to that was interest rates to the moon. Anyway, which is not good.
Well, go ahead. Hey, Bourbon. Go ahead, buddy.
I was saying, did he specifically say he's going to speed up the rate? Or did he just say that if the economy continues to do well, he's going to speed up?
I didn't see that.
I thought the implication is a higher terminal rate, which is like oof, big oof to that one.
It was
but
a
like
bit of
maybe
both.
I misunderstood.
Yeah. No, and that's basically what it was. He was like, "Look, we're probably gonna have to go higher, and we're probably gonna have to go faster as the economy shows us or the data shows us." So yeah, and now 2-year rates are at their highest since 2007. That was the headline that just came across.
Yeah, Credit Suisse is offering 6.5% on a 3-month.
Dude, who this morning said that if he wears a purple tie, it's down? Whoever said that shit is right. You were right, dog.
Tendy Chaser said that. Tendy Chaser.
Tendy Chaser said that. Yeah, it was. It was Tendy. He said if he wears, what was it, a purple tie, it's down, and a
purple tie is up. Purple tie is up usually.
No, he said purple tie down, blue tie up, or something like that.
Blue tie down, purple tie up.
Oh,
he wore purple tie.
Yeah, he said purple tie. He said purple tie up. Green.
Oh,
yeah,
he did?
That last stock,
okay.
that last stock he did, I was locked and loaded with puts, and as soon as he got in camera frame, I saw he had a purple tie. I dumped him and switched to calls.
Holy shit! Right when y'all said that, Bitcoin just dropped from like fucking 22,150 all the way to like 22.96.
I told you I was buying. I said everyone get in. Like it's gonna keep going.
Well, Bitcoin is anti-inflationary, as we all know. So 100% correlated. As inflation goes up, so is the price of Bitcoin.
You know, I'm surprised Bitcoin like hasn't completely collapsed at this point.
Bro, when I was buying Bitcoin at like 380 and it dropped down to $310 a coin, I was like, I am ruined. Ruined. Anyway.
Yeah, that that tie color thing is a real thing. Some people actually like think that way. I used to work with an HR manager that like any time, based on like the tone of his tie, the darker the tie, like if he came in with a black tie, somebody was getting fucking fired that day.
Sometimes people do that stuff subconsciously because they don't know, or they're like, "Man, I'm gonna fire a bunch of people. I'm gonna dress like James Bond today."
Yeah, I've got some friends that I've been friends with since like elementary school or whatever, and they eventually noticed that like I say hello to people or greetings to people, and if I say greetings to people, I'm suspicious of them, and if I say hello to them, I'm not suspicious of them. They eventually called me out on it, and I was like, holy shit, I had no idea I was doing. Now I just say hello to everybody because I'm not a weirdo. Well, I am actually objectively really fucking weird, but it's alright.
Never said hello to me.
So unless J-Pow says
Greetings.
something, it looks like we're sideways for the next 7 or 8 minutes. What are you seeing, Elliot?
I'm trying to speculate on that right now. It looks like we're just having some like teasing moments, but we could just gap up and say, fuck it. Thanks for the speech. Have a great day.
Yeah, I think we gap up here. I'm about to buy some calls. Fuck it.
Well, that's not financial advice, by the way.
Yeah, nothing I say is financial advice.
It's
I just like
definitely
making
financial advice.
I like making to the minute guesses in front of a large crowd. That way, there's that many more people that can clown me.
Yeah, no, I think we'll sit at a 401.90 and then go back down. Maybe we might hit at I'm talking about the SPY right now, 402, and then just gap back down, and it was just a big middle finger to everybody. But
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I just sold calls right before the speech and some yesterday, and most of them I've bought back already for like a quarter of what I got in the first place.
We just
Well,
402.
I think it was Jay Bourbon that said he's getting in calls. Good job, man.
Thank
Those
you, brother.
just
Thank
printed.
well done, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this call open since Elliot's still here. And I assume Opinion's here. I don't know. But I'm heading out.
All right, Scald, I just want to let you know that you're not weird. I don't think you're
All right,
weird.
take it easy,
I think you're
Scald.
smart.
Hey,
You're
watch the
not
train
weird.
crossings, man.
Your normalcy has cost averaged across this group.
Nice. I'll see y'all later.
Take care, Scald. Thanks for the tips.
Cheers, Scott.
Looks like we're past that 402 SPY, so it'll be interesting to see where this gaps up. Look, I didn't watch the
402.60.
speech. Go ahead.
I said I'm waiting for 402.60 range, and then I'll probably dump my calls.
I have a hard time seeing it unless it's just he says something really good. I have a hard time seeing it break 402.96.
Yeah, look, if we go, look, we still have a roof at 408, so it'll be interesting to see kind of where we go today. I didn't watch the speech personally. He's got to speak tomorrow, which is a little bit more, for me, a little more personal. But considering that the banks aren't even like holding up that well, it's kind of weird because usually the banks do pretty well on this kind of news. So, yeah, teach your own. I don't know. It's a good day, though. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all still alive and breathing. So that's what matters the most.
Dude, what do you mean the banks aren't holding up very well? You see Silvergate?
That's a good one. Like that. Yeah, so Silvergate's still holding up, of course. Yeah, BAC and JPM, I mean, I guess they're just testing the lovely bottoms here.
At what point do interest rates get so high and terminal rates get so high that it actually makes things bad for the bank.
When people stop asking for money, right? I mean, I think that's what it comes down to personally. But
what are the majority of things people are asking for money from the banks? Like, what is their primary source of revenue? Is it, real estate, mortgages? Is it people's credit cards? Like,
I mean, most banks are like supporting local businesses, right? And there's a lot of great business ideas that everyone thinks about during recessions. Most businesses are created during recessions. At least that's the last time I read a stat on that. And people do like to think about their home and remodeling and whatnot, but I think it's I'm not in America, so I can't really give like an accurate, like, on the ground temperature reading. But based on what I heard from family and friends and the likes, is that there's enough savings for some, and then there's like no savings for others. And then you have like Bank of America CEO come out during Davos saying, "Oh, all our bank accounts are doing great, and people are have so much cash on the side." So it's like, I don't really know what to believe at the end of the day. I just know that the cost of eggs are so expensive, and everyone's buying chickens. So, but yeah, I digress.
Yeah, that's right. You're in Japan.
I think we bounced off that 402, and Spy said we're going back down. So
yeah, I already dumped my call. See, we double dip anyone?
I'm currently sitting on my losing puts, 397. Currently only valued at about 20 cents, bottom for 29. So holding on strong here. Being patient. We'll be selling them for a certain price. Let you know when I get them out. Are you guys playing anything right now? Already looking at anything for tomorrow, or any?
Yeah, I'm
any
playing
comments?
playing Robinhood right now and Ethereum ETHE. That's the discounted Ethereum trust that Grayscale is litigating over. So basically, with all the crypto leverage that just came out off of the exchanges, there's all this Ethereum and Bitcoin locked up in two different trusts, and they want to be able to convert these things to ETFs. So there's actually a court case going on today, and the goal for them is to basically be able to either give people an exit to get some of this Bitcoin they have on their books sold into the open market, or change it over to an ETF so they can start realizing some of the value. Because essentially what's happening is that they have a bunch of Bitcoin that they have custody over. They have a bunch of Ethereum they have custody over. It's locked up in this trust that basically is trading at 45% discount to spot. But you can't ever get the actual crypto out of the trust. So like, I have rights to Ethereum, I have rights to Bitcoin at 45% discount. And when they finish litigating this case, we'll find out whether they can change this to an ETF or if they have to sell it on the spot market. And either way, it'll end up either crashing the price of Bitcoin, or I'm going to try and basically use the 45% discount on Bitcoin and use the leverage on BITI to try and middle the trade. Because if one's trading at 45% and the other moves like leverage to any downside, you can just basically weight it 3-1. Sorry, that was a long explanation.
Yeah, too long, didn't listen. No, I'm just kidding. It was good information. I do appreciate that.
I have returned to propose an idea so stupid it is going to lower the collective intelligence of this room.
Pretty sure I just did that.
Go on. Opinion. This is for you, my friend. I know that there's talk about what to do if Reddit ends its talks. And we've talked about Twitter or Discord or Clubhouse or all these different places. But what if instead of any of those, you started running the talks on LinkedIn?
Then I'd have
Alright,
to
boys,
pay.
everyone add each other as a connection. Get that premium.
I'm sure nobody will have any issue giving out their government name, right, guys?
The government name.
Oh man, I was just like, this is the
Calls
worst
on
idea I've ever
government
had.
names.
Man, I'm gonna have so many endorsements now.
You see, opinion. This is how you network.
Yeah, strong oral skills. Mm-hmm.
Looks like Norfolk Southern's down over 2% today so far.
Yeah, it tends to happen when your company goes off track.
Haha.
I couldn't have said it better.
And Dix is about to hit 10%. That thing doesn't care what J Powell has to say.
Opinion. I'm shocked you don't list WallStreetBets moderator on your LinkedIn.
Oh God.
What's his LinkedIn?
I don't know if I want the apes finding me.
Yeah.
Let's find him.
Let's go, boys.
Holy shit, HPQ is resolving its second scald squiggle as we speak.
Oh, there we go. That scald squiggle.
It's second. This is the second one. I'm waiting.
By the way, I have an AI squiggle now. Just want to let you guys know. Since we like to just randomly say that we have our own indicators. That's how I feel about scald squiggle.
You can't name your own indicator AI. The whole point is that other people named Scald's indicator the Scald squiggle.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to up one. So, no jealousy or anything. No jealousy.
I had no idea that artificial intelligence could be jealous.
I mean, keep in
You
mind,
only knew.
all technical indicators were made up. Literally all of them. So someone was just like, what this line do? And then came up with an indicator.
My uncle told me a story about this company indicator.
Scald, you just gave me my next great pickup line. Instead of approaching women or men and asking them what that mouth do, I'm gonna ask them what that line do.
And men. I love that line.
Personal growth. I like it, Mask.
Or I could, even better, I could just ask them how that scald squiggles.
I once described the stock market to a 4-year-old who was asking me what game I was playing on my phone. And I said, well, this game works by me trying to guess the direction this line goes. And if I guess it right, I get points. And if I guess wrong, I lose points. And then he just said, is it fun? And I said, sometimes.
Almost at 403, boys.
I'm still holding.
So, random question. They were chatting about how once the terminal rate gets to, let's say, like 6%, you start getting to this point where the return that a company should be able to give you in 10 years to basically make you indecisive as to whether to invest in bonds or like a company 10 years out, they should be returning you basically 4 times what the short-term rate is. So like if Credit Suisse is offering you 6.5%, then 10 years out to invest like as a VC, you should be expecting 25% returns over 10 years. So I think that if they keep increasing rates and the terminal keeps going up, what could happen is you see this point where you're better off getting 6.5% on your money than trying to beat the stock market. And I think that's the point where SPY comes back down to earth. The question is, will they move off of the quarter hikes and go to 50? Probably not, which means this shit is going to go on for a long time. But if they switch to 50 to try and, be more aggressive with inflation, I think that's the risk that you'll see with banks, is that you're going to see people's 401ks come down as the market comes down, as leverage comes out and goes into banks to get stability. So I guess when you see cash deposits skyrocket and the terminal rate high and leverage coming out of SPY, that's when I think that Powell will start stabilizing rates. But I still think if he's saying that it's going to be a bumpy ride, then we still have 2025 as the target for when this shit starts stabilizing or coming down.
Do you feel like at the end of the day, the consumer is going to be acceptable of this interest rate hike long term, or do you let's say December wise, right? Where they're going to start taking out credit for seasonal items such as Christmas and whatnot?
I think there's misinformation about what consumers are doing, because what they initially indicated via banks was that consumers had a strong Q4 with a lot of discretionary spending, but that discretionary spending was the last of their savings from the COVID stimulus, and now they're tapping into credit. So if we have increased interest rates, increased cost of borrowing, and credit is already running dry, then access to credit is going to be harder. So I think that if things continue to get worse, by the time we get to Christmas, when people need to tap that credit again, they won't have enough left, and that's when people would start panicking, when all these companies expect to go into the black and nobody has credit to spend for Black Friday or Christmas.
And then the increased unemployment, followed by the restarting of student loans.
If that gets pushed back, my speculation on that, meaning the payoff date and when they have to restart payments, if that gets pushed back even more, let's say in November, then we're going to have, I think that's going to help ease up credit spending. People are going to feel still comfortable. I know Rad always brings up the interesting point of people feel like they don't owe money towards that, even though they do. And so they're still spending for their rent and sporadic spending, which I think is a fair argument at the end of the day. I just wonder how true that is for a lot of consumers.
It definitely is true for me in terms of how much I paid down. I paid down until the last cent of what he claimed the threshold was going to be. So that's just sitting there waiting for me to pay off if he doesn't, wave the magic wand. And the thing that is confusing me is what does it do to my credit score if I have this obligation to the government and they're saying we may or may not wipe this off the book?
So go ahead, Bourbon. Why don't you finish? I mean, I can tell you what it does to your credit if you want me to. Basically, you have to answer that you've had a credit forgiveness before. So it can both affect not your score, but it can affect your employment. Some employers don't want to see that and you may actually have to pay taxes on it as well, whether it be a credit card loan or, a credit card auto loan, or in this case, student loan. It's not just some magical wand. It really is a true use of your credit, and it will be a black mark on them.
Oh, okay, so that confuses me as far as what Biden's incentive is.
Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you negotiate something down and then there's credit forgiveness, that would be a mark. But I don't think what.
But that's what it's called. It's called loan forgiveness, right? It's
right, but I don't think it's going to be. You got to look at how many people it's going to affect, right? At a certain point, they have to discard the data. If it's going to be 36 million individuals, they're going to discard the data. It's like the same reason that like mortgage loan people don't really look at student loan debt when they calculate how much of a mortgage you can have, which doesn't make any sense to me because it does affect your free cash flow.
Whoa, they definitely do.
Do they? They
definitely.
They look at
100%
it.
Look at everything on your debt that's balanced on your three.
But
credit.
they look at it as a discounted rate, is what I've been told. I don't know. I never had student loan debt.
No, they look at it because it's your overall debt to income, it's your overall monthly payments, it's how much available credit you have. All those things go into it, not just your credit score.
They look at your debt to asset ratio, of course, and then but ultimately, like let's say your payments are $300, that's what they're looking at. Your car, let's say that's $300, and then they kind of add all those things up, your monthlies, reoccurring payments.
So in this time where people have had their loans paused, we've talked about this, and to further the idea that Rad spoke about, AI, was, the underwriters still see those, you know what I mean? So I don't know how they're being discounted now with the pause, but I like his idea. Rad had an idea of where are people going to spend this, or how are they really going to flex that extra spending just besides going out and drinking and eating. He was talking about like the Affirms and where they don't run your credit when you buy items, but come 12 months, if you don't, pay, then they will mark your credit up. So he thought that was a potential, short position. He hasn't completely formed his thesis, but he's taken that another step, saying here's what the ultimate risk is.
Whenever he talks about that thesis, I just call bullshit. Like every time he talks about it, not that it's not like good. Just like as someone who went through this and was like, oh, this guy's going to forgive X amount. Okay, well, what is that going to do to my credit score? How much does that free up for other things I can pay down? So like I paid off a credit card. I got my credit into like the best shape it ever was. I didn't go out and fuck around and like buy bitches drinks. Like I saw it as an opportunity. Like, holy shit, this dude's going to wipe this amount and I can use that to get my other credit in line. So I just went crazy and like paid off all my debt.
No, and I think you're probably the rarity, and good for you for doing it. Let's even say it's a 60-40 split, of that. It's not going to be an exact, I agree. It's not everyone going out and pissing their money away, but there is probably going to be a fair enough share that there could be some, taking some hit to earnings long term for some of those buy here, pay here ones that, again, people can circumvent that credit underwriting and spend more than they have.
And then, you guys are speculating that if they push the student loan timeline, right? Right now, what is it, June? But the latest communications out is that if the Supreme Court makes their decision, let's say they don't pass it, then it's going to be 2 months from there where the student loan repayment is going to start starting back up again. And if that date doesn't happen anytime soon for the Supreme Court to make a decision, then they're going to make everyone repay in June. Like that was the latest guidance out. So it seems like they're not going to push this any further. It seems, at least further than June.
So Ayod, it sounds like there's going to be massive credit tightening if this thing goes through.
I'm shorting the fuck out of the market around June.
Yeah, I feel like, Scald always brings up an interesting point about the U.S. dollar, and to keep the U.S. dollar up and strong. So a lot can happen between now and June, within some respects. So I am curious if, at the end of the day, if it's just really just a lot of speculation, or if there's like actual numbers we can look at to kind of like back up, some futuristic future investments that have been played, such as like insurance companies or what have you.
I'm also intrigued how this is going to affect things like venture capital. So you're seeing a slowdown in venture capital investments in mid to late stage
patience
in mid to late stage companies, but you're actually seeing an increase in seed funding, right? Because they realize that they have to get in early in order to outpace the risk off rate of money, they have to get in early and hope that company really 10x's, right?
Well, what they're saying right now for AI specifically, and you can listen to the latest episode of the All In podcast because those guys are all VCs and know what the fuck they're talking about. They're saying that what they're saying from VCs right now is that they are getting in super early so that they can allocate a lot of capital in a lot of different projects rather than being picky, because they see a lot of people competing in AI and they don't understand who's going to be the dominant product in the market and who is just basically building something that everyone can build in the future. And it's just like, for example, with OpenAI, the cost of OpenAI has come down significantly, but they have the leading product, right? So now everybody's using that as their on-ramp to AI. So what are people building on top of that? So the VCs are saying, if you come in and show me something that you're building, I'm going to give you money before you leave the door. Versus like 2 years ago this time, they would still take a week. 5 years ago at this time, they might take 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's just very interesting. I'll just say that.
I'll say what I'm observing right now is yesterday I reached out to 20 different VCs that I knew. Of the 20 I reached out to, 14 of them responded within like either yesterday or this morning. That's
What's that normally like?
Normally not like that, dude.
Like normally it's like a week of follow-ups, right?
Well, I mean, also not just. I mean, there's still going to be a lot long. Like, there's still going to be that week or two of like actually setting meetings and doing the deck and going through due diligence and everything, right? Like, you got to do all that, but like normally the response rate isn't that high. You normally hit someone up, and you just don't hear back.
Think about it like think about it like if you were to say the U.S. stock market is going to be super strong this year, and you bought shares of every company in SPY versus just one 0 DTE on SPY. I think that's the strategy for VCs now. They want a lot of 0 DTEs. They don't want a lot of shares.
That's the sign of an unhealthy market.
I'm not mad at it because we will probably get the next Google, the next Facebook. One of those companies will come out of this time if AI's right and companies get invented during recessions, and we have a ton of people willing to throw like small chunks of money at people building on top of a platform that is just basically API endpoints at this point.
Yeah, but the difference now is that we have these huge conglomerate big tech that could just swallow them in the moment, you know?
That's the opposite of what's happening in the AI race, though, because people are coming out and saying, I can destabilize your entire business model just by building 2 bots.
I just wanted to say what AO was saying about how things can change from now to June. You know, March was originally when these planned interest rate hikes were going to end, and it doesn't look like we're going to meet that projection.
Yeah, I mean, market's still hot. You look at real estate, people are still buying left and right. And then you look at even used cars, like they're back up. Carvana wants to buy my car for, $3 more K than in January, and then 5-6 more K since November. Yeah, I don't even know how they're still in business. I don't know what the fuck's going on right now, dude. Market's still hot.
They have debt to repay. They think that they can arb your car.
I don't give a shit. I'll sell them
their debt. No, I'm glad to know. I'm about to see.
Oh shit! I'm telling you, they literally resent me an estimate. I was just like trying to check out, how the used car market's doing. And by the way, I have a Honda Accord.
That makes sense because even if they sell their entire inventory off, the debt they have on their balance sheet, they need to reach out to people and sell more cars. So that makes sense.
Yeah, but like they're offering more than a few months ago, and then even more since November. It's just mind blowing.
I can confirm Carvana's algorithm that they decide like what cars they should pay for it is ridiculous. My friend literally every year buys a new Jeep Wrangler base model, whatever. And then he checks the Carvana price daily and with like a fake email account, and it moves around. And then basically every year he sells the Wrangler for a profit and then goes and buys a new one because their algorithm is so broken. And my wife, same thing. She had like a base model. I don't want to say base model. It was like one trim package above base, Ford Edge, 4-cylinder, front wheel drive, cloth interior. They paid $26,500 for it. And I looked on their website and I looked at all the Ford Edges, same model year, to see what they were listed for, retail, sale. And they paid more for hers than they had like same miles, clean Carfax, titanium, leather, sunroof, V6 all-wheel drive, heated seat cars listed for sale. Their shit is so broken. And like when the guys came to pick up the car, it was hilarious. Because these cars have the where you can touch the door handle when the key fob's near it and it'll unlock and start. And the guys basically came out, looked at the car, took a lockbox, hung it from the driver's window, and put the key fob in the lockbox, handed us the check, said the tow truck will be by to get it later. Well, the car was in the way. So because the key fob was literally bolted to the window, I just walked up to it, touched the door handle, unlocked it, fired up the car, and moved it around the back of the house. Tow truck showed up for it later and was like, "Oh my God, where's the car?" Like, you guys are idiots.
I know a dude from Carvana. He needed to move, so he waited until someone was selling the truck, used the truck that he was supposed to deliver to the Carvana location to basically be cleaned out, and just moved his shit the entire day. And I helped him.
Wait, so he bought the truck and then resold it?
No, so somebody on Carvana is like, "Hey, here's my truck. You're selling it for me." And he's like, "Thanks." And then he just used it. Instead of taking it back to his job to deliver the vehicle, he used the truck to move his shit all day.
It's called work perks. That's awesome.
All I know is this is making me very upset that my $1 put is not printing.
Very understandable. Zero internal controls.
And most people that work at dealerships have really clean cars, pretty well maintained.
Yeah, people that work at dealerships, they use those cars on the lots constantly.
I'm regretting selling my SPY puts that I bought for 29 cents. I sold them for 12 cents, and now they're slowly going back up. This market is very unpredictable right now, but I digress.
Yeah, 400 SPY. It's crazy.
But yeah, very interesting information today. Very good, insightful tips. And so thanks to everyone for coming today. Unless you guys want to keep it going. Thanks is a good time to just call it off. Maybe opinion, if you want.
Yeah, for sure. I just say if you want to talk more or listen to people talking more, check out the Discord and hop in VC. Always good conversation there. Big shout out to Mr. Zombie Bear, who really kept the conversation alive yesterday, and we had like 15 people in there. It was really good conversation. Hardy and Scald were there too, so good stuff. Want to see? We'd love to see you there as well. But until then, or until tomorrow morning, don't lose too much money, and we'll see you then. Thanks everyone for coming out.
Thanks, Ben. We appreciate it. Links in
Cheers.
Discord. Link of the Discord channel is in the comment section of this talk, so go ahead and check it out. Opinion has stickied it, so check it out. Yeah, thanks, Opinion. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate all of you guys. And here we go.